If you missed the Celestia airdrop, this is the next Celestia airdrop. If you missed the last Solana airdrops, this is worth keeping an eye on. All these are going to be doing airdrops or possible airdrops. This has a high probability of happening. So we're putting this in the likely to happen category, meaning that they have some kind of incentives program, whether it's a test net, whether it's a community rewards or points program, whether it's a quest, beginning with the best projects with the highest tech score. Scroll. This is a native ZK EVM layer 2 solution for Ethereum that helps with scaling. Quarterly score, 94%. That's the highest on this list. Worth keeping an eye on this. You cannot sleep on this. Big narratives here. ZK rollups, layer 2. Its competitors, Starknet, Tyco, Polygon, ZK EVM, ZK Sync, and Linear. Their last valuation for the fundraise was $1.8 billion, and they raised $15 million this year from investors like Polychain Capital, Sequoia, Bain Capital. Worth keeping an eye on this project. But let's kind of break down the difference between ZK rollups and optimistic rollups and why this matters and why there's so many on this list. We know optimistic rollups with L2s like Optimism, Arbitrum. They were the first to launch. They were the first to go to market because it was easier to build an optimistic rollup. So looking at this table here, the realistic throughput cap at the time of this diagram is about 500 TPS. It takes you about 1 to 2 weeks to withdraw funds, but ZK rollups are superior technology. That's what matters. Without being an engineer, just understand they are superior technology. It took a lot longer to build them because it was tougher to do. But now that they're being done and they're superior technology, basically more scalable, faster, all these are going to be doing airdrops or possible airdrops. So this is worth keeping an eye on. And this is the next ZK EVM, Linear. This is from the Consensus team, the same company that does MetaMask. Quarterly score, 90%. Big narrative here, ZK, Layer 2. Its competitors, pretty much the same list. Tyco, Scroll, Starknet, Polygon, ZK VM. They've raised, in terms of the parent company Consensus, $450 million in a Series D. And they have over 30 million monthly active users at the time of the fundraise with MetaMask. What happens if they merge that with their ZK EVM? From investors like Microsoft, Parify, SoftBank, Temasek. So these are the big funds, big corporations. And this is, they launched their mainnet alpha back in early July of this year. And this is the chart of their activity on chain. So there's significant growth in Linear. Keep an eye on this one. Okay, this is actually one of our investments. Do not sleep on this as well. 10, formerly known as Obscuro. This is a fully encrypted layer 2 Ethereum rollup. It basically helps Ethereum scale. It's kind of a hybrid between optimistic and ZK. They use trusted execution environments, basically the hardware, to encrypt transactions. Tech score, 89%. That's why we invested. Big narratives here. Privacy, rollups, layer 2. Its competitors, Aztec, Secret Network, and Railgun. Other investors include KuCoin Labs, Republic Capital, Big Brain, and Cogitant Ventures. And I want to kind of compare the privacy space in terms of blockchains, in terms of how flexible they are and how unbreakable they are. Right? So you have on the right end, Zcash, Monero, Aztec that are basically very, very unbreakable. Then you have Obscuro, which is now 10. They rebranded recently, and Secret Network that are more flexible. Kind of show you how they fit on the spectrum of privacy. More likely airdrops. Avail. This is one you cannot miss. Avail is a new project that spun out of Polygon. So it's part of the Polygon team, Polygon ecosystem. It was called Polygon Avail. Now it's just the Avail project. Tech score, 87%. If you're a customer of ours, we've already shared this code review with you in advance, several weeks to months in advance. I've covered this deep on a webinar deep dives, why we like the project. Big narratives here, modular and data availability. This is competing with Celestia and Eigenlayer and Ethereum. If you missed the Celestia airdrop, this is the next Celestia airdrop to make it easy in comparison. Because Celestia scored at 89% in tech, so Celestia is slightly better, but it's very minimal, but this is on the same caliber. And here's a table basically comparing its competitors in terms of block time, time to finality, consensus algorithm. Worth keeping an eye on Polygon Avail, which is now the Avail project. And this is basically a diagram showing modular blockchains and the whole ecosystem, because there are a lot of projects now. Modular is the future, because on the execution layer, we have projects that were covered, Starknet, Arbitrum, Scroll, Aztec. Then you have the settlement and consensus layer. So you have ETH, Aptos, Sui, Celestia, Cosmos. So basically all these L1s. Then you have the data availability layer. So you have ZK, Eigenlayer, Polygon Avail, and Ethereum. Do not sleep on the modular narrative. It's going to be a big narrative. Eigenlayer is also rumored to be doing an airdrop. We're in the process of finalizing a code review on it for Eigenlayer. Make sure you're a customer. go to our research site. We'll have the code review posted there shortly. More airdrops. This is one a lot of people are sleeping on. Parcel. It is a platform for trading real estate market across different cities in real time. This is mainly a fundamental project, not much open source code to do a tech review or code review, but it's scored at 77%. This is legit. The big net is here. If you missed the last Solana airdrops, this is worth keeping an eye on. It also fits on the derivatives, kind of real world assets and real estate. Its competitors, not quite competitors, but you have ProP, one of the first real estate projects. You have Homebase, also a real estate project on Solana, but this is kind of in its own lane. Not much competition, to be honest. They've raised $4.1 million from Archetype and other investors, including Coinbase Ventures, Shima Capital, Tribe Capital, Dragonfly Capital, and Not Boring Capital. And this is what it looks like. You can come here and basically, if you're bullish or bearish on any real estate market, let's say in London, in Miami, in Dallas, Austin, Texas, you can go long or short on the platform without actually getting into real estate. So think about that. If you want to diversify your assets out of crypto while staying in crypto, you can basically trade cities' real estate indexes. Pretty innovative. And they just launched a community points program, which leads to speculation that is likely to be an airdrop, kind of like with FriendTech.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, we have even more content for you at Token Metrics. Get there using the link down below.